Hey guys, I just want to show you a project I've been working on in Minecraft. It's up here, or at least a good view of it is. This is a arithmetic logic unit, and an ALU is found in every processor because it does math, and math is important.
So you want to know how to make an adder? Well, you came to the wrong place. I'm going to be showing you how an adder works. And maybe if you just listen enough, you'll know how to make an adder from scratch yourself. A full adder has 5 gates, consisting of 2 AND gates, 1 OR gate, and 2 XOR gates. The XOR gate consists of 2 NOR gates and 1 AND gate. If that seems confusing to you, trust me, it's really not. They're very simple gates with very simple premises. And if you're already knowledgeable about logic gates, just buckle up. I'll go over it real quick. It's very easy. So some people think binary is hard, but it's really not. It's mostly addition. So we have our 2 to the 0 place, which is 1, 2 to the first place, which is 2, 2 to the second, 4, so on to 8. This is base 2, so instead of counting with 10 fingers on your little hands of yours, you'd be counting with just 1 digit that can be on or off. 1 and 2 together are 3. 1 and 4 together, that's 5. So 1, 0, 1, 0 is 5. We turn these all on, it's 15. Just to get it back to home, I'm gonna show you binary counting. Mind you, now it's the one that's off is the one activated, and as you can see, it's counting up. The OR gate is the simplest gate of them all. The way it works is if either of these inputs are on, it's going to be true, otherwise a 1. The AND gate is the next easiest circuit. If both of these are on, we get a return of 1. A little bit of side view of the actual circuit. Very, very simple. Now you can take both of these gates and convert them to the opposite. Now this is a NOR gate. If either of these are on, it will retract the piston and bring the state to 0. We are simply inverting the output. And we can do the same right here by just getting rid of that torch. So now if both of them are on, we get 0 instead of 1. Post edit, that is called a NAND gate. Very simple stuff. Next, let's look at an XOR gate. The point of an XOR gate is to only have a positive output or 1 when only one of these is turned on. If they're both on, we want it 0. If they're both off, we want it 0. But just one of them on will have the case of being true. And I'm going to explain that more on a chart. Inside of here, we're checking for 2 cases and we're comparing them against each other. We want to check if both of them are off or both of them are on. So let's do 1, 1 here. So 1 and 1 OR. So if either of these are on, for an OR gate, it would be 1, but we're inverting it. So it's going to be, in fact, a 0. If both of them are on for an AND gate, it's going to be a 1. So now we come to another NOR gate. If either of these are on, it would have been 1, but now since it's a NOR, it's going to be a 0. A big fat goose egg. So let's build the XOR. This is a deconstruction version that I made. Hopefully it's not as confusing as it could seem. I have it color coded out, so our NOR gates are right here. And our AND gates are white, so NOR blue and white. You take our A and our B input. First, they go into a NOR gate. So if both of these, either of these are on, it's going to turn off this torch. We take their just carryover and bring it over here to an AND gate. So if both of these are on, it's going to turn this power off. And we also going to have to convert it back to just regular signal. So you have to put another torch after it, just exactly like this one over here. Right now we're taking both of these torches and we're putting them into an OR gate. So if either of them's on, it's going to be an OR, and we're NORing it. If we have this torch, it's inverted and it comes out the other side. So let's see, get out of here. 1 on, both on, off. Very simple. And finally, we have the full adder, what we came here to understand. I feel like with all this base knowledge, we can finally delve in to how this magnificent machine works. So whenever we're looking at this, the machine doesn't actually know how to add. It's just looking at use cases for if it should turn on the out, the C out, or just the regular bit. we have 3 lines in, a control line, and 2 inputs. The control line is usually added in from an external component and not toggled by a player or the machine unless we're doing a ones complement, which is subtraction with binary addition. A little bit of an example of how it works is this is just the 1 bit, so 1A, 1 plus 0, 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Then finally we can add one more, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. The reason this reads as 3 is the carry out is technically now the 2 to the first. This is still 2 to the 0. This is going to be worth 2. That's going to be worth 1. Added together, that's 3. Before I show you the deconstructed gate version that I have made, I want to go back into the graph and show you exactly how it works. This is the hardest part to explain. Hopefully you can follow along. I'm going to do my best to explain this the most comprehensive way I can. But right now, just treat these all as if statements. So these are just string together if statements that are going to tell you 1 or 0. Here's our bit right here. Here's our cout, our inputs right here. We want this to be on only if it's 1 or 3, an odd number. How do we do that? Well, we select it through the cases of these if statements, which are technically logic statements at the end of the day, but if you're a programmer, it might make more sense to think of them as if statements. If both of these are on, this is going to be 0. One of them on, it's going to be 1. So that's odd number right there. So let's just do a thing of 1, 1, 1 for this example, because that's the case of everything being on. So 1 and 1 XOR, that's going to be 0. Since both of them are on, we want to output at the cout, and that's where these lines come in. If both of these outputs are on, both of them are 1, we're going to AND gate them, and since they're both on, we get a 1 output. Now as we can see, we are checking both the cases of if we should go to the bit or we should go to the carry out with A and B. Now we must look at the products of the first XOR gate and CN to see if 1 is added to this so we can carry it out to the bit. Because if it's a case of 1 plus 1 plus 1, we want that 1 to come out of the bit. 1 and 0 XOR'd is going to be 1 because only one of them's on. We also have these 2 last gates we're worrying about, which are the output of the first XOR in CN. And what this is checking for is if this was going to be equal to 1. So say we had 1 and 0, this would have been equal to 1, this would have been ANDed, and this right here would have never, this would have been 0. We check this, 0 and 1 and together, 0, and now the output of these ORed together is 1. As we can see, the use case of 1, 1, 1 will receive 1 and 1. That was a little bit confusing, but now let's look at the deconstructed circuit. Starting right here, we have our first AND gate of the A and B. So this would have been the one on the far bottom. As we can see, just a regular AND gate that we've been using this whole time, which consists of 2 inversions of the input to 1 output. Right here, we have our XOR gate. This is a very small XOR gate. A little example of how it works is right here. So 1, 1 off, 1 off, yeah, a regular XOR gate. This XOR gate is going to be the basis of our creation. So we have A and B XOR'd and then the output coming right here. CN right here goes to another AND gate, which is the output of this first XOR gate right here. So just another regular 2 inversion AND. Both of these go on to an OR gate. We'll talk about that later. We take the CN and pass it into another XOR gate with the output of the first XOR gate to finally get our first bit output. Right here we OR the 2 AND gates to get our cout. Let's look at it in action. 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. Very, very simple. Alrighty, let's build one now. So we're going to start first with the OR gate on the far bottom because honestly it's the easiest to do. We're going to take these first 2 inputs and XOR them now in a very simple way. We need them to be right next to each other to work for this XOR gate. Very simple XOR gate right here. We need to finish this AND gate right here and convert it. So now we have the first AND gate and the first OR gate made. We're going to need our CN at this point. Very easy to do. We're going to pull that along because we're going to need to make the CN AND with these 2 right here. So let's go doom, output, put that right there, and take this bad boy. Oh, that might add it. That might add it. 1 second. I don't know exactly how comparators work. That might add it. So let's do this. And this shall be our second AND gate. So right now we have our first AND gate, which is the inputs, our XOR gate for the inputs, our AND gates for the output of that and that, our AND gate for the output of the XOR and the CIN, and finally we just need to take the output of this XOR and CIN and do one more XOR gate. Like this right here. Let's get some pistons just to show it's working. Piston there. Now we gotta OR these together. Pretty simple stuff. Take these, output it this way. And voila, we now have our fully made adder. As you can see, it's a carry adder. It's working in all the cases. Now I challenge you, don't use this video to make the adder. Use the diagram I'm going to put up on screen right now to try to design yourself your own adder so you can fully comprehend the logic that goes behind such a circuit. Thank you so much for watching this long-winded explanation. I hope it wasn't too confusing and you learned something new. This has been Tethered. Thank you very, very much.